Guys, what's up? Quarantine. Mr. Woosley asked me to do a video for you guys. Talk about the year. Talk about the awards, because we're not going to have award ceremony. Well, I'm going to go through these awards real quick. But first of all, I want to talk about a couple things. This year was pretty crazy. So what I remember from this year, a couple things I was trying to think of. I remember Owen had a couple blocks that were crazy. A couple crazy blocks coming out of nowhere, just sending it into the stands. I remember Josh Perez passing from half court, and it was just like he made it. He just made the shot. It was supposed to be a pass to like Tyler. I don't know who it was. I don't know who it was to, but he was supposed to make the pass, and instead he drained it from like the longest shot he's ever made. I don't think he's ever made a three in his life, but then he made that. So I remember that. Obviously, the going to Indianapolis was a lot of fun. We were to beat that team. That was a blast. Honestly, that was a blast. This whole year, the whole season was, well, it was a lot of fun, and I enjoyed it to the fullest. I appreciate you guys. Really, I didn't have any problems. I didn't have to worry about anything going on, whether it be talking about someone behind their back or anything like that. It was just we just played basketball and we enjoyed ourselves. So thank you to that. Looking forward to this year. I'm looking forward to our party. We're gonna have a party because Owen is bothering me about it. We're gonna have a party. I promise. We're gonna have a party. All right. So the awards. Without further ado, the Coaches Award. So the Coaches Award goes to be honest, the guy who works the hardest. I've given it to the best player on my team. I've given it to the guy who really didn't get a lot of time, who maybe thought he should have and didn't complain. But I've given it to all of them in between. So really, the Coaches Award, someone that I know who's, first of all, after practice is going to come up and ask me, hey, what do I need to work on? Hey, what'd you see? And then also, hey, I know he works hard when I'm not looking. I know when he looks hard, he works hard when in the off season. Maybe he doesn't get enough attention. Maybe he doesn't get, the playing time that he wants. But this year, the Coach's Award for me was Luke Mitchell, and Luke, you understand, we've talked about it. You want to get in the game, you just do, but sometimes it just didn't happen. And I told many of players, when I look back at the season, I'm like, man, maybe he should have played more. Maybe I could have got him in the game in this situation. Like I talked to Mr. Uzi or talked to some guys on the bench, like the coaches, hey, like after the game, maybe I could have used him in this situation, or something like that. But really, I never heard, and not that I never heard, I know that I never had a complaint from you, man, and it means a lot. It really does. It means a lot. I understand how hard you work, and I understand how much time you put into it, but to not get in the game sometimes, I know it hurts you, but I appreciate you not having any ill will towards that. So, Coach's Award, Luke Mitchell. Most improved. Really, I could have given it to a couple people, but Tyler Huckins, definitely the most improved. Especially from his freshman year. Tyler, you weren't good. You just weren't good at basketball. Now, you're a good player. But yeah, and Tyler, really, it comes down to you working hard on the things that like matter. There's been players in the past who they're big, they're tall, but they go out and practice and shoot threes. Which I'm not saying you never shoot threes, but you are down there doing a drop step and just making layups. getting rebounds and making layups. Like that's how you get your points, and you've worked on that. So your freshman year, you could not grab a layup, you could not grab a rebound and put it back up. You know, it just looked awkward. I'm sorry, man, it just did. But now, you know, I really think Coach Woosley is gonna benefit from you working hard. So most improved, Tyler Huckins, Mr. Offense, and really I thought about this, and I almost gave you most improved too, like a most improved, but that's just dumb. That's just too many plaques to give out. So Brian Stoltmeister, Mr. Offense, you have worked on your game. Clearly, you've worked on your offensive game, um, and it showed in the tournament. You know, it showed in games where you couldn't be stopped. You know, like the ball wasn't falling. I mean, the ball was falling. So really, Brian, your shot looks good. And I told coach and I told a bunch of guys, really, you didn't play the guard position for 3 years. 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, you're stuck down low for whatever reason. My brother just doesn't know how to coach, you know. No, I'm just kidding. I mean, you were just taller than the guys, you know. But now for the last 2 years, you played that guard position. You've guarded, you know, perimeter players. You've learned to come off the dribble, and really, man, it's going to be scary next year, especially if you can grow. Man, if you can become as tall as your dad, that'd be nice. But every time you shoot that ball, man, it looks like it's going in, and that's to say that you've worked on that. Like you've consistently worked on that form and the follow through and all that. So, Mr. Offense, I don't know if you're the highest scorer, and I honestly didn't look at the stats, but offensively, you know, if your shot was falling, dude, you're gonna score 15 to 20 points. Sometimes they weren't falling, sometimes they were just right on and they just wouldn't fall. But Mr. Offense, Brian Stoltmeister. Mr. Defense, Josh Perez. I don't think anybody would have guessed that, or not guessed that, but Josh Perez, you know, the guys in the past that I've said you have to guard the best player every single night and you don't get tired of it. Josh, you were put in a position this year where you know, you had to guard the best player, but then also in a position where you had to play point guard. Josh, you're not a point guard, you know, and you guys that are watching this or on the team know that Josh is not a point guard, but he held his own. We played in 4 varsity tournaments, you know, and you held your own. You know, you had to guard the guy, and then you had to bring up the guy. You had to bring up the ball, and their best player was guarding you. You know, so really, Josh, like we talked about this with Curtis Monday when he was a sophomore. He didn't have a great sophomore year because he was going against varsity players. He was bringing the ball up. He was guarding play, but it really benefited him. And I really think, Josh, you having to score a little bit more, you having to bring the ball up, it's just going to help you the next couple of years. And you know, Josh, that shot, you know, there's a couple things every year I don't ever forget, you know. But that shot from half court, you just threw it and it went in. That's just something you're never going to forget. MVP, most valuable player. That I felt like, hey, you know what? When he's off the court, I just thought he was the most valuable. You know, Owen Coffey, you know, both ends. You know, I would try to give you a break. You know, just like with a lot of guys. You know, I would try to give you guys a break and get you guys back in there. But Owen, when you weren't on the court, you know, it just seemed a little different. You know. Not to say that you're the greatest sophomore in the whole world, but you know it was hard for me to take you off the court, and I knew you were tired. You know, I just tried to keep you on as long as you could because you know I felt like you were the most valuable that we had. Owen, I know you want to shoot threes. You know, really, your percentage from 3 was pretty good. I mean, I think you only shot like 4. But your percentage was pretty good. You know, Owen, you're a big kid, man. Like you're a big kid, you know, and you use your body well. Just like Tyler's worked on his drop step, just like Tyler's worked on his getting the rebound, like you've worked on getting rebound. Like I've told you guys before, before the game, or even at halftime, or even during a timeout. I'm like, dude, look, our advantage is you and Tyler getting rebounds. And when you and Tyler were both going rebounds, especially this now that I'm just talking to you, when you were going after rebounds, there wasn't players that were stopping you. I remember this reminds me. I remember, I think it was the last practice. It might have been the last practice of the year. I don't know what it was. We were playing NBA. We were playing that one drill where there's two teams on either side. Varsity and JV go together. It's full court scrimmage, and like me and coach were talking afterwards. Like you were getting the rebounds, and the varsity could not stop you. Like you were just owning the boards. You know, and I told you before, and I told you in front of the team. You know, hey, look, there's not very many varsity players on that varsity team this year that were better than you. You know, so you keep working hard, man. You keep working hard, and you're gonna be a force. It's gonna be fun to see you guys next year on the varsity with a couple of the juniors and then Joe, obviously. It's gonna be fun to see you guys. You guys keep working hard in the summer. I know you guys are quarantined, but don't let that stop you from working in the off season. Appreciate you guys. You know, I got my hand Baptist. I just got done mowing. That's why I look like a bum. I haven't shaved, so I'm sorry. Yeah, I appreciate you guys. I really do. You know, this season was fun. We're gonna have a party. I don't know when, but we will have a party. We will come to my house. Everybody will have a chance to play me one-on-one. If you beat me, I will give you $1,000. Because ain't nobody gonna beat me on my court. Yeah. Anyways, I'm gonna shut up and end this video. But I appreciate you guys. Thanks for a good year. If I were you guys, I would be so happy. I had 6 months of vacation, summer vacation, instead of 3 like normal. So enjoy it, man. And Baptist, appreciate you guys. Thanks for a good year.